Why does falling and scraping your knee or bumping into something hurt? This pain may be uncomfortable, but it actually helps to keep you safe. Pain is your body's way of telling your brain that something bad has happened to you. Rubbing an ayyyye can sometimes make it feel a little bit better, but why? Let's pretend a team called Pain is in a race on a narrow course where your brain is the finish line. The Pain team will quickly sprint to your brain, and that's when something hurts. But Pain isn't the only team in the race. It's competing against another team called Touch. The Touch team is better than the Pain team, so it can squeeze through the narrow course and prevent some of the Pain runners from getting to the finish line quickly. This is why touching or rubbing an ayyyye can make it hurt less.
You're getting your books from your locker, and then you accidentally slam your finger in the locker door. What's the first thing you do? Rub and shake it to make it feel better, right? The pain you feel travels through a pathway where it goes straight to the central nervous system, also known as the CNS. The CNS is a complex network that receives signals in the brain and sends out commands to other parts of the body. This network is made up of nerves, and these nerves are made up of nerve cells called neurons. Neurons in the CNS communicate with each other to send messages to and from your brain via the spinal cord. This network is made up of many neurons that communicate with each other to create a response in other parts of the body. The reason why the pain goes away when you rub or shake is because of something called the gate control theory of pain. This theory demonstrates the competition between the painful sensation and the non-painful sensation, like the rubbing or shaking that you do. The non-painful and painful stimuli both compete for your brain's attention, when your brain receives both messages at once. Oftentimes, the non-painful sensation wins, and that's why shaking or rubbing the hand that you slammed in your locker actually eases the pain.
Pain is something we all experience, and we notice painful stimuli thanks to tonic receptors. Tonic receptors are special because they either adapt slowly or not at all, depending on the stimulus. The pain signal from these receptors travels to the brain through the CNS via the spinal cord. The localization of pain is within the somatosensory cortex, but the perception of pain is within the thalamus. Painful stimuli are first noticed by specialized receptors called nociceptors. These receptors are only sensitive to painful stimuli, and they are found within the dendrites of neurons throughout the skin and internal organs. Nociceptors are free nerve endings that connect to myelinated A nerve fibers and unmyelinated C nerve fibers, and they respond to a nociceptive stimulus by sending a signal to the brain through the CNS. This nociceptive signal travels down the C fiber axon, and a neurotransmitter, substance P, is released at the axon terminal. Substance P is then used by the brain and spinal cord to perceive the feeling of pain. This causes the painful stimuli to travel more slowly relative to the non-painful stimuli. When a non-painful stimulus like touch and a painful stimulus occur simultaneously, the A-beta fibers send the non-painful stimulus to the brain while partially inhibiting the C fiber signal in the spinal cord. The partial inhibition of the painful signal by the non-painful signal explains why rubbing a small injury like a stubbed toe or a paper cut can reduce the perceived pain of an injury.